Jean Tuggy was a 60-year-old woman who lived in Irion Street in Pine Grove Mills, Pennsylvania. She was a devout Christian and twice cancer survivor. She drove the school bus while taking on a second job at a grocery store called Wegmans. She was well liked by customers and co-workers and was described as kind-hearted. On the 21st of January 2016, when she failed to show up at someone's house to socialise with a group of friends, they became worried. The women made their way to Jean's home to investigate. When they arrived, they found a blue Honda Civic in the driveway and the house was locked up. They looked around until they came to a basement door, which was unlocked, so they made their way inside. They then walked to the living room, where they made a horrifying discovery. They found Jean's lifeless body laying in a large pool of blood. Her sweatpants were partially pulled down, and her top was pulled up to reveal her stomach. The authorities were contacted and arrived at the crime scene before 3 p.m. The responding officers noticed that she had been shot twice, once in the left side of the face, near her neck, and the second bullet hit her in the left hip. An autopsy revealed a bullet penetrated and lodged itself into her spinal cord. The bullets were identified as 9mm hollow point ammunition, which was preserved as evidence, and an extensive investigation began. A friend of Jean's named Maylee Peachy was interviewed. She told detectives that Jean had mentioned to her about some trouble she had with a former male colleague at Wegmans who was in his 20s that she had formed a friendship with. No arrests were made in the case, but in January of 2019, another of Jean's friends named Peter Corey described to the investigators that she once worked with a male colleague named Chris, who had a Polish-sounding last name that ended in ski. Jean had told him about an incident in which Chris had rubbed her back while visiting her at home. Peter said the unidentified co-worker was described to be in his late 20s or early 30s and attended a local church. Several days later, detectives visited the Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in State College and interviewed Cindy LaBarca, who was the parish administrator. Based on their description of Chris, Cindy identified him as a former churchgoer named Christopher Kowalski. She explained at the time he attended, he worked at Wegmans and lived with his parents in State College. Investigators were able to find information about Chris through internet and database searches. They were also able to determine that Chris and Jean were Facebook friends. In the messages, they both expressed loneliness as well as friendship boundaries. In May of 2019, detectives re-interviewed Maylee, who spoke of an intimate encounter between Jean and the co-worker at her home. She said that when Jean made him stop, he became upset. He then kept pestering her to spend time together, she said. Jean told Maylee that she did not know what to do, as she had to go to work to see him, and she disclosed to her that she believed he wanted a romantic relationship. Gina told her friend that she was planning to invite him over to talk to him about their relationship remaining platonic. Maylee thought this was a bad idea and suggested to tell him at a quiet place at work. Detectives learned during their investigation that Chris had purchased a 9mm handgun called a Welther CCP about 1 month prior to the attack on Jean, and was then sold onto a dealership 8 months later. The detectives traced the pistol to its new owners, who bought it from a store about 2 months after Chris had sold it. On the 8th of February 2021, detectives caught up with Chris, who's 34 years of age and now resides in South Carolina. He spoke with the investigators, but initially declined being more than friends with Jean. He soon changed his story though, admitting that he had been in an intimate relationship with her. Chris explained to the detectives he'd gone to Jean's home around 4 p.m. on the 21st of January 2016 to watch movies with her. He told the investigators he'd gone to the bathroom while Jean made tea. He said that he was taking his coat off and attempting to hang it on the coat rack as Jean was walking into the living room from the kitchen. He said that he had a gun in his coat pocket, which fell to the floor when it accidentally discharged and struck Jean in the area of the lower left back. Chris said that as Jean screamed for help, he picked up the jammed gun, and as he was trying to clear the chamber, it accidentally fired a second time, striking his friend in the neck. Chris said that blood sprayed like a hose from Jean, and that he did not attempt to help her because he knew it was too late. Chris said he picked up the spent shell casings, locked the deadbolt on the front door, and left through the unlocked basement door, disposing of the casings outside a pizza restaurant. After detectives said that his 2 stories of accidental discharges didn't make sense, Chris came clean and admitted he deliberately shot her. He said, The truth is, I shot her. I did it because I was depressed, down and hopeless. I was having a midlife crisis. Chris said he shot Jean in the back, racked the gun, and shot her again in the neck. He then revealed he had a secret fetish about watching women in a state of undress. He said he thought about shooting Jean even before this. He chose Jean because she was an easy target and she wouldn't be able to fight back. Chris explained that when he shot her in the back, she fell over the arm of her couch. His gun did jam, but he was able to clear it. He said he then shot her a second time towards the back of the head. He said he turned Jean's oxygen off to ensure that she was dead. He told investigators that he then pulled Jean's pants down a bit. He said he initially planned to undress her entirely and take pictures of her, but he was too scared to get blood on his clothes. He was arrested on the 8th of February 2021 and faces charges for taking Jean's life. He's been detained in the Charleston County Jail and will be extradited to Pennsylvania, where he will face trial.